Thank you, everybody, for coming along this afternoon. We're going to do some breathing. We'll do a little bit of meditation towards the end. As we've had a break, might be a good time to reaffirm some of the basic principles. First of all, the cautions. This isn't medical advice. So, with regard to breathing and medical conditions, make sure you have some medical advice to go with this. The most important thing in our practice is that you be your own authority. That is what it all boils down to. Be your own authority. When you're doing practices, see what feels good for you. See what doesn't feel so good. Use feedback from your body and mind to guide your way on this. Everybody is different. Everybody needs something different. No drug works the same for everybody. No technique works the same for everybody. So be your own authority. Always bear in mind your particular individuality and don't be afraid to assert that, even though people around you may be getting a certain effect from a practice or saying they're getting a certain effect. You're not. That's because you're unique. This is very important. Always keep safe. If in a breathing practice you begin to feel unwell in any way, woozy, pins and needles, pain, anything odd that is not the normal sense of yourself, stop, breathe through your nose, and go back to the default breath. Always keep safe. If doing a practice, you easily move into getting numbness or tingling or dizziness and whatever, it's probably because your baseline carbon dioxide is too low and you've lowered it a bit more. So doing the technique to restore your carbon dioxide, at least to a reasonable level, putting your hands over your nose and mouth and rebreathing from your closed hands and breathing low and slow, that is what's required. We do our practices with lightness. These are little experiments, little plays, ways of playing with our breath. And we do the practice and we sense what the practice does for us or to us. Without judgment and without the feeling that we need to control things. This is our problem in the West, always wanting to control things and not just sit back, be quiet, and sense what's going on so we know what is appropriate to do on the basis that we know what is going on through our senses and through being quiet. Sensing, being quiet, gives rise to intuitive understanding of what is required. Same in human relations, isn't it? No point in getting into an argument with someone. Just sit back, listen to what they have to say, give it some time to incubate. That really slows conversations down and certainly slows arguments down. Okay, So let's do some practice. Number one, always return to the default breath. And as you know, the default breath is sitting or lying comfortably, breathing through the nose, and breathing with the abdomen. Low, relaxed. And go wrong with that. Breathing low and relaxed. Low and relaxed. And over time, not immediately, in most cases, your breathing will slow down. So low and slow and relaxed abdominal breathing. There's so much research on relaxed, low and slow abdominal breathing. It's just good for everything. And as we've discussed many times, part of the reason is that the vagus nerve, which is listening to your breathing, gets the message. Everything is fine. The breathing is relaxed and abdominal, slow. So things must be okay. So the messages go back up to your brain. Everything's fine. No need to worry. No need to be stressed. The brain settles down a bit, and the endocrine system settles down a bit, and the immune system settles down a bit. And everyone gets on better. Everyone gets on better. Okay. So, sitting straight and comfortable in your chair, or if you're reclining, make sure your body is in line. And let's just do 3 shoulder rolls, relaxing as you let your shoulders come down. Feel your shoulders. Imagine that they both feel the same. Don't try and make them feel the same. Just imagine. No forcing. Imagine they feel the same. Just the act of imagination, they feel the same. And deep breath and relax. Good. So let's revisit the 5 modes of breathing. The first mode, where we emphasize inspiration, which is stimulating and alerting. Then we visit expiration, which emphasizes the out-breath and relaxation. Then we revisit retention, where we hold at the top of the breath or the bottom of the breath or both. And that is strengthening. And then balance, either through doing a balanced breath or alternate nostril breathing. And finally, sound, where we use the breath and sound to vibrate the body in particular ways, and to certainly vibrate the brain in certain ways. Good. So with each exercise, we do the exercise and then we are sensing how that exercise has felt. Sensing in the body, sensing in the mind. But first, sensing in the body. Always sensing in the body. So, we are going to do inspiration first of all. Now, the picking grapes exercise, of course, is a very dynamic exercise which emphasizes inspiration, but we won't do that today. We'll just do the sniffing part. So, we are sitting comfortably. Our shoulders are relaxed. We're going to sniff 4 sniffs, pause briefly, and then another 4 sniffs, like this. I'll do it again with my hand. And we can breathe through our mouth on the exhalation. This is one of those instances where we breathe through our mouth if we wish to, because it's a more dynamic exercise and it's easier to do it that way. Let's do 3 rounds of 8 sniffs, 4 and 4. 3 rounds, starting now. And relax. See how you feel. This is the kind of exercise where you can get a bit spacey or dizzy. If you feel spacey or dizzy, stop immediately. Do the default breath and breathing through your cupped hands. And let's do another round of 3 8s. Breathing through the nose Check out how you feel. Good. If you're feeling fine, even a little alerter or energized, let's just do one more set of 8 for luck. Great. Very good. Default breath. Shoulders are equal. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Perfect Melbourne spring day. How good is that? In Melbourne, you've got to fully appreciate the beautiful days because they come and go. That's what makes us Melburnians so sane and resilient. We are accustomed to dealing with constant change. But as the great English mystic William Blake said, he who catches joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. Can't pin joy down. Can't have nice days every day. Couldn't be right. Okay. If after we've tried some exercises in any section, you would like to feedback, you can feedback now or make a note and we can feedback when we've tried a little bit of each of the 5 modes. So let's move on to the next mode, expiration. To recap, the body naturally relaxes on the expiration. It's the parasympathetic side of the autonomic nervous system. Every time we exhale, the system relaxes a little bit. And the natural ratio of inspiration to expiration is 4 to 6. Expiration is always a little bit longer than inspiration. And that ratio is a very good ratio to do in breathing practice because it reflects a nice balance between sympathetic stimulation and the relaxation expiration. And then, if we want to further the relaxation aspect, we increase the expiration count and maybe move to 4 in and 8 out. But I think 4-6 is quite a nice ratio, which I find relaxing. So I've got my metronome here, and remember, always have a metronome at your disposal, preferably not one on your phone during any practice. phones should be dispensed with, turned off, locked in a safe, or chucked in the garden. We don't want phones anywhere near us. All the things. Okay. So we're going to be breathing in for 4 and out for 6. And because you can't hear the metronome, I will call the count. So I'll do in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll do 3 or 4 minutes of that ratio. No pressure. If you don't like the ratio, do 4-4, or just stop and do default breathing. It's all good. Starting now. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finish. Good. Sitting straight, relaxing the shoulders. Breathing through the mouth.
Paul,
Hello?
hi. As I've mentioned before, I find the 4-6 too short. I don't get enough air in and enough air out. So I went to 6-8, which worked better for me.
Okay. That sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you. So we are breathing, sitting straight, just checking in with how we're feeling. How it's made us feel. Relaxing, shoulders are equal. Breathing through the nose, default breath. Next, we'll try some retention. In traditional pranayama, retention is very important because it's in the pranayama theory, it's during the retention phase when you get maximum absorption of the prana, the life energy. We don't have any equivalent in modern science for prana energy. I think I like just to leave it at that. We know that the breath contains vital ingredients, not just oxygen. And retention is giving us an opportunity for maximum absorption of those vital ingredients, and therefore retention is strengthening. And again, in pranayama theory, the more retention you do, the more longevity you have. Not only are you slowing the breath, and if you believe that you're allotted a certain number of breaths when you're born, and when all those breaths are used up, you die, well, slowing down the breath probably isn't a bad idea. If you want to live a long time, that is. So we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 2, out for 4, hold for 2. Or you may wish to do another ratio. As Lindy said, the 4 in may feel insufficient. So you could do, for example, a 6 in, retain for 3, 6 out, retain for 3. Obviously, at the retention, at the bottom of expiration, you are not necessarily absorbing very much in the conventional sense, but that is a rest point. So your retention is really a rest there. But you're still retaining the prana that's left in the lung for further absorption, but it is also a rest spot. So we're going to do 4 in, hold for 2, 4 out, hold for 2. So I'll go in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, in, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, etc., etc. Okay. Let's see how we go with that. In 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, and stop. Good, good. I think I've said to you before that one of the principal teachers of breath practice that I benefited from was Sri Balaratnam. That form of pranayama with retention was his favorite form of breath practice. And one of its beauties is that you can go up through the scale. You can start low and say 4-2 or 6-3. And when you're very comfortable with that, you go to 8-4. And when you're very comfortable with that, you go to 10-5. When you're very comfortable with that, you go to 12-6. And when you're very comfortable with that, you keep on going until you get to 24-12. And that's a real attainment. 24 in, hold for 12. 24 out, hold for 12. That's not breathing very much, but it is possible to get there. I'm not expecting you to get there. I mean, I didn't do very well after 16-8, and I don't do 16-8 anymore because I find it introduces too much of a stress to it. You don't want too much of a stress. You may want to be just outside your comfort zone if you're moving up a ratio, but you don't want to be struggling with it in any way. This should be fun. It should also always be essentially relaxed and alert. One interesting thing we know is that if you go to the higher ratios and you're really taking deep breaths and really stretching your lungs, then that feeds back up the respiratory tract into the nasal sinuses. And it has a tonic effect on the nasal sinuses, clearing the nasal passages and therefore the nasal sinuses. Anybody with sinus problems or allergy problems will benefit from this practice, as I did originally. It cured my stuffy nose for the first time in my life, which was miraculous. Okay. The next practice, of course, is balance. You can do the balanced breath, 6 in and 6 out, for example, or 8 in and 8 in, or 4 in and 4 out, whatever suits us. And the 6 in, 6 out rate, the science tells us, seems to suit a majority of people to maximize their heart rate variability. The smoothness of variation in heart rate with breathing, and very healthy variability, which seems to be associated with longevity, cardiovascular health, and other benefits. So 6 in and 6 out is good. And the alternate nostril breathing, very good to balance up the hemispheres. Put us in a calm, balanced, and alert state. 6 in and 6 out. We won't do that today. We'll do that next time. Let's do alternate nostril breathing with 6 in and 6 out. So we breathe in for the left, start with the left nostril. In for 6. Out for 6. The right nostril. And in for 6, the right nostril. Out for 6, the left nostril. Now, you can either hold the nostrils to facilitate that, or you can just imagine the air flowing up the left nostril and then out the right nostril, in through the right nostril, and out through the left nostril. You can just imagine it. Simplest just to do that. Actually. When you put your awareness in the left and right nostrils, it has a similar effect on balancing the hemispheres as if you were actually doing the alternate nostril breathing with the blocking of the nostrils with your fingers. Okay, so we're going to do 6 in and 6 out. Alternate nostril breathing. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And stop. Sitting comfortably. Straight. Shoulders relaxed. Shoulders are equal. And just checking out how you feel. Good. Okay. The last domain of breath practice is using sound. So this was Bala's second favorite modality, doing ohms. He would say, now do 27 ohms first thing in the morning to set yourself up for the day. What could be better than chanting a sacred sound to harmonize your body first thing in the morning? We have our breakfast to nourish the physical body. We do some breathing practice, maybe picking grapes outside to energize the subtle body, added with looking at the blue sky to help energize the subtle body. Then doing Om to energize and harmonize the psychic and spiritual bodies. Nothing better. Now, just to remind you, Om, Ah, U, Ah in the abdomen, U in the chest, at the third eye. We don't have to be slavish about it. We just do it the best we can, staying present. And we're going to do 4 in and 4 for Ah, 4 for U, and 4 for like this. And my metronome going. Om. Okay. They have to take obviously a much deeper breath for this. Just get as much air in as you need on the 4 in. Okay, let's do that. In. Om. In. Om. In. Om. Good. "27 of those to set yourself up for the day. Try and do 9. Try and do 9 in a 1-to-3 ratio. You might be able to do 6 in and 18 out. But 4 is a good place to start, certainly. Let's just do 1 more. In. Oh. Very good. Very good. All those 5 domains of the breath, there are all ways also, of course, of meditating. If your attention is focused on what you're doing, on the counting, the breathing, the sensations of breathing, well, then, of course, you're meditating. It's a particular form of meditation. It's concentration meditation. For initially, at least, your concentration may be rather narrow on the object, which is breathing, the sensations of breathing, and counting. But as you go on and counting becomes second nature, you can expand your attention and be more relaxed and open and spacious about it. So I'm going to say a few words about meditation. I've put a meditation sequence, given it to Peter, and I think he's put it on the site. A 15-minute meditation. Now, I want to say a few words about this meditation. Look, of course, there are hundreds of different sorts of meditation, hundreds of different practices from around the world. But essentially, what are we doing in meditation? When you hone it all down, what are we doing? We're sitting quietly. We're sitting quietly, free from expectation, and we are doing nothing. We're sitting quietly, free from expectation, brackets, and therefore judgment, and we are doing nothing. We are doing nothing. Our doing is doing nothing. So it's a paradox. Our doing is doing nothing. Because ideally, we're not using any meditation method. We're not concentrating on our breath. We're not saying a mantra. We're not doing a visualization. We're not doing anything. When we sit quiet, without expectation, and our doing becomes doing nothing, we realize, whoa, can I stop doing nothing? Can I stop doing nothing? It's very hard. The thinking goes on. Even if the body is quiet, the thinking goes on. Emotions still arise. Sensations are going on. We want to engage with all of that. We want to engage the world, sensations, thoughts, etc. So how can you do not doing? There's a famous story about this. A German guy called Eugen Herrigel went to Japan after the war to learn the art of Zen archery. Zen archery. He wrote a book about it called Zen and the Art of Archery. And he was studying with this archery master for quite a while. And eventually he says to this teacher, he said, well, look, you're telling us to try and hit the target without trying. How can I try without trying? I.e., he was asking this question, how can I do without doing? And the Zen teacher says, you know, that's very interesting. I've never been asked that question before. So the guy was a typical Westerner. How can I do this? How can I do that? You know, he hadn't got the message that you just had to absorb that. You had to absorb how to do nothing, how to deliberately do nothing. The doing, which is not doing. And this has an incredible relevance, I think, to being chronically unwell or to chronic suffering or to the chronic unsatisfactoriness and difficulty of just being in this world. And when I was thinking about this, what I was going to say about that today, it just occurred to me that, of course, this is the first step in Alcoholics Anonymous, which many of you may know. I'm not implying that anybody's an alcoholic here, but you may know what the first step of the 12 steps of AA is, which is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. And that is so interesting because that arose from the founder members' experience of hitting rock bottom and absolutely not knowing what to do about it. absolutely not knowing. I've hit rock bottom. I can no longer manage things. I've tried giving up alcohol 100 times. My friends and relatives have tried to help me 100 times, and nothing has worked. Finally hitting rock bottom, it's like I give up. I can no longer manage myself with this. And so the second step is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. I think this is so important because part, for me, of meditation is giving up control, letting go. Stop trying to control my life. I don't control it anyway. I have no idea how my body works. Now it's keeping me going each day. Thank you, body, for keeping me going. I'm very grateful. If I tried to be in control of all the functions of my body, what a mess that would be. And I think it's the same with life in many ways. This is a little bit controversial. I'll press on anyway. So part of meditation is we give ourselves over. We absolutely let go of trying to do things, control things, judge things, evaluate things, plan things, rehearse things, regret things. It just goes on and on. And just give ourselves over to what is present. And in the present, we must believe there's an element of faith here. In giving ourselves over to what is, we have faith that there is a solution for us if we're just quiet enough to listen without judgment and not doing, controlling, evaluating, regretting, planning, so on and so forth. We give ourselves over to a higher power. In modern parlance, we're shutting up our left hemisphere with its constant chattering, storytelling, planning, evaluating, etc. And we are giving some space for our non-dominant hemisphere, the right hemisphere, which has age-old infinite wisdom in it, and which is the hemisphere which is listening to the body and which controls the body. Oversimplification, but let's leave it at that. Give it a chance to speak. Give it a chance to speak. So that is the ideal for me of meditation. It's not having someone talking relaxation or meditation to you. It's not doing visualizations or visual trips or anything. Not listening to music. It's not none of this doing. It's just opening and quieting. Waiting on God, as they say in the Christian mysticism. Now, we do that some of the time, but it's a bit of an ask. I find it a bit of an ask. There's an intermediate stage where we just listen to something with openness, something which is designed to elicit responses from our intuition, our spiritual body, the non-dominant or right hemisphere. And so the meditation tape that I've made, and which Peter has posted, is just a 15-minute meditation with that in mind. With that in mind. Just some quieting and some phrases which are hopefully will elicit a response from the non-dominant hemisphere, or the spirit, or the great mystery. or intuition, or whatever name you have for it. As it says in AA, we give ourselves over to a higher power as we understand it. And there are many frames by which you can understand the intuitive part. One of the problems with chronic illness is that, and I also speak from personal experience, we keep on seeking, we keep on trying. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but equally, that needs to be balanced with listening. There's a part of me that knows what's required. Can I hear it? Okay, so now the final thing I'm going to say today is if you could help me out, even in these senior years in which I find myself, to keep my registration, I still have to do medical professional development every year. And they've really sort of upped the ante this year. And we've got to really concentrate on getting feedback. A very admirable goal. You can help me by sending comments to me directly or to Peter. One about the breathing sessions in general. What you find is not so good, which could be improved. What you find is beneficial. Just those two things. What's not so helpful, what's helpful. And with what's helpful, what do you like to see more of? What's not so helpful, and what is helpful. Either about these breath sessions as a whole, and or the meditation sequence that you may or may not access in the next week or two. If I could get some biofeedback responses from your experience of these areas, that would be very helpful, and I can tabulate them, and I can say I've been a very good boy and done my professional development. I can chalk up some professional development hours, and that will relieve my anxiety greatly. So please help me with my anxiety. Give me some feedback.